live now. Okay, I was live a few minutes ago, and I was live a few minutes ago and had some network glitch. Um, yeah, so I had glitches with my network, so I had to go off and then log on with different network. I hope you can hear me and you can see me now. I hope it's better. All right, so I started off earlier on, and I think I should introduce myself again. Um, okay. Hi, Wendy. Okay, my timeline, not the group. Yes. Okay, thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you very much. I am on the go. All right, so I will just adjust that. Okay, let's just go on anyway. All right, so good afternoon. My name, thank you very much, Wendy. All right, then. So, okay. All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So if you're with me, let me know you're here and you can see me clearly. 1 second. Let me just make some adjusts. Okay. We will just go with this today. I think I would just go ahead and share in the group with my phone. All right. All right, so it's Marybeth Chima here, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship group here on Facebook. Okay, we're also on Instagram and on YouTube right now, right? So you can follow us and you can join in our broadcast and join in our and follow us on each of these platforms, right? Great. So I said today that we are going to be talking about how to help your child win beyond their score. All right. How to help your child win beyond their score. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so we're talking about how to help our children win in school and beyond, right? That's what we're talking about today. All right, so I started off by saying that the one of the biggest pitfalls in parenting, or one of the biggest mistakes that we make as parents, is assuming that, okay, one of the mistakes we make in parenting, as parents, is assuming that parenting is an easy fit, is an instinctive thing, and it's not something that needs to be learned, and it's not something that we need to put any particular effort in. All right. So, because of this, we don't realize that our role goes beyond being providers to our children. Okay. We don't realize that it goes beyond being able to provide food, pay school fees, take them to the hospital when they're sick, and be there to yell and correct them every time they make a mistake, beat them, and all of that. So today, I just want to help us begin to think bigger or think out and beyond this conventional rules that a lot of us assume that parenting is about. Because truth is, the success of our children is actually deeply connected to how important or how well we play the role of parents in their lives, right? So a lot that would determine the kind of success that our children make, or how wholesome they end up living, right? Or how well they succeed, is actually hinged on how well we take the role that we play in their life as parents, right? So our role actually goes beyond providers. It goes, I mean, the moment we begin to see ourselves as teachers to our children, we see ourselves as mentors, we see ourselves as people who wear so many caps in the lives of our children, then we will realize we will make the kind of progress, right? We'll make the kind of progress, and the outcome will be so huge that we would be asking the question, people will be asking you the question every time, what do you do? Okay, what do you do? What do you do with your children? All right, then. Okay, so if you know me, most times that I come here to share, right? Most times that I come here to share, I am sharing from my experience, all right? So my experience is what I can dig my feet in and say to you, this is what I know that I know that I know, right? Okay, so there was a time I was talking with one of my mentors, and she actually asked me, MB, what's your unique value proposition? And I simply said to her, my journey, basically. Okay, so my journey is actually my unique value proposition. That is what I bring to the table. That's what I actually bring to the table. And why do I bring my journey to the table? Three reasons why I bring my journey to the table. Okay, the first one is the fact that I started off as I had my own intentions, right? I had my intentions before I became a parent, or at the point I became a parent, what I wanted to achieve for my children. I didn't have total clarity and perspective, right? And then I started growing in my journey, and then I became an educator. So when I became an educationist, right? I became a teacher, right? When I became a teacher, I realized when I got into the classroom, I realized that the problems or the challenges in the classroom actually go beyond the teacher. Okay, it actually goes beyond what happens in the classroom. I realized that most of the challenges, right? Most of the challenges that children have, and most of the results, right? Most of the challenges and most of the results to the challenges actually lie in the home. So I actually deviated, right? I actually not deviated, right? I actually started looking beyond the classroom. I started looking beyond being a teacher to the children in the class. I started looking at the factors from the home, or the factors that are actually rooted in the home, that could be the challenge that children are going through. And I realized there were so many of them. All right. There were so many of them. And so I actually, this it was part of how I got even more interested or more intentional. It was part of how I started asking questions. I started getting answers to questions. Started learning strategies. I started employing tools, okay, in my parenting. And what did I realize? I realized why I was doing this, that what I was doing was I was gaining knowledge. I was gaining knowledge, and I was amassing knowledge in this area, right? I was learning new strategies. I was researching, and this is what a lot of parents, okay? This is what a lot of parents are not doing. They're either not doing it because they don't think it is necessary, or they're not doing it because they don't have the time to do it, right? So because I know this, and I know that whether parents have time to do this or they don't have the time to do this, the challenge, or sorry, the results, right? The results of whether parents have the time to do this or they don't have the time to do this actually ends with the children. It is the children who end up suffering for our inabilities to actually take our role as parents. So our children are the ones that actually end up suffering. So what do? I put out my experiences out there, right? I put out my journey, I put out my experiences there. I put out what I do out there. So that some parents who probably doesn't have the time to, some parents who doesn't have the knowledge, some parents who doesn't even realize that there is so much to be done could see and actually pick something here and there that resonates with them, that they can apply in their home. So, because I know that a lot of parents are not putting so much into this, I put so much into this so that I can share with them. All right. So, that is one of the reasons why I am always here sharing my experiences. All right. The second reason why I'm here sharing my experiences is this: when I come out here and I share, I connect with people who actually agree that they have challenges. I connect with people who are making, progress in their journey. I connect with people that have like minds. I connect with like minds like me. And what happens? I end up learning. Okay, I end up learning. You cannot exhaust knowledge. That's the truth about it. So there's always something to learn. There's always someone out there to learn from. So while I am on this journey, I build a network of other parents who are on this journey, who are sharing their experiences, and I can learn from them. And in sharing my own experiences with you, what does it do? It keeps me on my toe. It constantly reminds me of what is important. So in sharing my experiences with you, I am getting better as a parent also. In sharing my experiences with you, I am going back to do the needful. So when I have challenges, right? Or when I have setbacks, the fact that I am here doing this every day, the fact that I'm showing up, the fact that I am learning in this area every day, it makes it easy for me to go back, retrace my steps, and get back on track. So that's another reason why I share my experiences with you. Okay, the third reason why I share my experiences with you is for the purpose, for the sake of the children. So I share my stories with you. I share what I do with the children. I share our outcomes. I share our mistakes and all of that. Okay. In doing this, I am also telling my children what is important. Okay, I am keeping them focused. All right. So when my son is on social media, I mean creating science videos and all of that, what am I doing? I am helping him focus on productive things. I'm helping him focus on things that are productive. And of course, we all know that focus actually creates blindness. So when he is focused on the things that are important, it means he is engaged in things that are important. Chances are that the things that are distracting, he will not be distracted by other things, or at least he is so busy that he can actually jump past some distraction because he's busy in things that are productive. All right. And we all know that social media is the new, I mean, it's the future, right? Social media is the future. So these are my children's digital, I mean, blueprints. That's the truth. I mean, footprints rather. Okay. So for me, these are the major reasons why I come here and I share with you our experiences, our journey, what we do. So most of what I share here, like over 90% of what I share here are not theoretical in any way. They are our experiences. That's the truth. Most of what we share here are actually our experiences, my journey as a parent. And today, all that I will be sharing with you, okay, in helping your child, right, soar or excel in school and beyond is most of my experiences. All right. All right, great. So let's go. So the first thing we want to look at is let's look at the foundation. Let's go to the very beginning. Let's start from the very beginning. All right, so if you're here with me, you can hear me, you can see me. I would like you to say so. When if you join me, just let me know you joined me. Okay. Let me know you've joined me and you're here with me. All right, so first thing first is we're looking at a foundation. We're looking at the foundation, the very, very beginning. Now, what you want to do, or what I do, or what we did at the beginning, right from when the kids were young, is we learned the importance, right, of stimulating the children. So, the importance of creating stimulating experiences, the importance of creating an environment that is stimulating for our children. So, when your children are toddlers, right, when they're young, when they're little, okay, between 0 and 1, okay, 1 to 3, what you want to do is you want to create an environment that is stimulating. You want to create experiences, right, for your children that is actually stimulating. First thing first, you want to use rich language when you talk to your children. So when you talk with your children, right, even when at the point where they cannot, that point where they couldn't even talk, when they were still blabbing, or when they were still, when they were still cooing and all of that, what you do is you talk with them in real language. Use real language when you talk to your children. Hey, sweetie, can you please pass me the pink bowl? Okay? Can you please pass me the pink bowl? Could you pass me the glass cup? Don't go pass me the rubber. Okay? Don't go pass me the rubber. Don't go, use rich language from the very beginning and speak with your children as if they were your friends, right? Speak with them like they are people that can understand you. Because when you're doing that, you are sending a message to your child that this is how to communicate. You're using the right language. So, and when children come, they don't come with they don't come with their own language, right? It is the language that we use to speak with them that is imprinted. And when they begin to speak, that is what they will speak back to us. So you want to use rich language when you speak with your children, right? When you play around the house, you want to use, rich language. All right, all right, good. Then the next thing, yes, when you play in the house, when you go out, yes, it's not limited to when you're at home. When you go out and you're walking around the neighborhood, you want to use rich language. Wow, look at that. Look at that plant. Wow, beautiful flower. Oh, it's an hibiscus flower. Okay, it's actually an hibiscus flower and it's red. Okay, use rich language when you speak with your children. Oh, the chicken has got 5 chicks. Okay, the chicken has got 5 chicks. Oh, that's a cock. So use rich language. Use don't talk to them as if they are babies and they cannot understand. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to drive. Okay. Yeah. Now you also want to create a lot of time for play when your children are young. This is their foundation we're talking about, and this is so important. Their foundation is so important, right? And it's so annoying, right? It's so annoying or it's so disturbing that this foundation that is so important is the one that we tend to trivialize the most. What we have is we have parents, after we give birth to the children, we breastfeed and all of that, and then we go back to work. A lot of times they are actually left at home with house helps that cannot, I'm not I'm not throwing jabs now as in no, but basically, let's talk some truth around here today. Okay. Now we leave them with house helps that have nothing to teach them. Okay. In some cases, we even take them to schools. We drop them in schools where the stimulation, they're not even interested in stimulating the children. The children just come in and then they feed them, they get them to sleep, and then put on TV. The children watch TV from morning till they go off to sleep again. They wake up and they watch some more TV. At the end of the day, we get home with them. When we get home with them, we feed them, we give them a hot bath, the type that will make them go to sleep as quick as possible. And the child goes to sleep as quick as possible, so we have our time to rest and the next day, and this is it. The cycle continues, isn't it? So at the end of the day, we waste the first 3 years of the life of our children where stimulation is supposed to be huge. We waste the time to create experiences. We waste the time to bond. We waste all that time because in our head, the children are little and they don't know anything. This is a very crucial time. If we're talking foundation, this is it. This is a very crucial time in the life of your children, and you want to go back and look. You want to go back and look at how you can fit in ways, okay? I know some of us work and it's not easy, right? Some of us work and it's not easy. But hey, that's why I said it is more than just providing for our children. We must stop and make deliberate efforts to make it work. So we must look for how we can make it work. That's the truth about it. We must look for how we can make it work, right? Great. Sorry to say, sorry to say, I have said this, I've thought about this many times. Some of us put more effort into training our dogs, right? We put more effort into training our dogs and into learning the ropes of our jobs than we even bother putting into our children. That's the truth. Because we get this rare breed of a dog, and then we go and we learn all that we need to do, right? We go and we learn how we need to do to make sure that the dog gets what the dog needs. We find the right feed, we find how to take care of them. We do all of that, okay? And with our children, we just feel it is really nothing. It's just make sure they are well, make sure they eat food, drop them somewhere, let someone watch them so that when we come back, they're there, basically. So we need to do more. We need to do more. All right. So we want to create an atmosphere that invites our children to play and explore through play. Okay, you want to create an atmosphere that actually invites them to play. Okay, the Montessori approach to learning actually believes that children have so much within them, right? They have so much within them that they can actually lead their own kind of learning. They can lead their learning so that we take cue from them. We take cues from them. So invite your child, provide the resources, okay? Throw stimulating things around and let your child play and explore on their own. When they do this, they are getting stimulated. The child is learning about his environment. The child is getting first-hand experience on with these things. Okay, so have things around nature, things that are natural, right? Have Take them out, right? Take them out of the house, let them play with the flowers, let them play with the tree, let them play with sand, let them do all of that. Bring them closer to nature, right? Go for walks with them, show them the mountains, show them the hills around your area, where you live, right? Show them the leaves around, show them things around your home, right? Let them interact with the world around them, let them interact with the environment, right? Bring resources into the house that the children can throw stuff around, let them play and discover for themselves. What you're doing is you are actually allowing them interact with things around them, and they get first-hand knowledge. It's called hands-on. Okay, so they can actually play with these things, okay, have some connection with these things and discover things on their own. When you do this, you're actually stimulating the child. All right. Okay. So you want to train their habits also. You want to train habits right from when the children are young. We want to train their habits, right? We want to correct them, when they do certain things. We want to show them the right way, right? Well, by the time the child is always putting his hands in his mouth, you want to you as children put their hands in their mouth when they're little, okay? So what you want to do in that case, you want to make sure that around them, as much as possible, you want to ensure that they are safe, right? You want to make sure the things around them are safe, the environment around them is safe, right? And then you want to teach them the right kind of habits. So as they grow older, the way they talk to other people while they're screaming, you want to what's the word now? You want to why am I what's failing me today? All right, so you want to demonstrate, right? Or you want to model. That's the word I was looking for. You want to model the right way to do things, okay? You must take the role of their model and model the right way to behave to your children. So you want to consistently model the right way to behave. That way you're actually training their habits. All right, that way you're training their habits. Oh, hi, nice one. Okay, Egbuono, hi, good to have you here. Good to have you, Chinyere. Okay, so you want to train their habits, right, by being the model. Model consistently the right way to behave. Don't go about spanking them and beating them and yelling and screaming and saying, I've told you this 10 times. Don't do it. What you do is you want to keep modeling. So when they do it wrong, you tell them, oh, Then you show them the right way to do it. You keep doing this, okay? We children learn by repetition. They learn by repetition. Now I am actually, my daughter tends to yell a lot, right? My daughter tends to yell a lot because at the time, okay, before I became intentional, at the time she was pretty young, some 5 years ago, I had I used to have house helps, okay, and you know that thing that comes with house help. So there used to be a lot of yelling and all that. At the time, I was a yeller, like many other parents, okay, until I found the gospel of intentional parenting and working on my emotions. Okay. But the thing is, some of these things that you have done in front of the children, they pick it and they would have to unlearn. All right. So we are at that point where we are trying to help her unlearn. All right. So every time she actually yells, I would actually come to her level. I will sit and then have eye contact with her at her level, and I'll tell her, not acceptable. Not acceptable, mommy. We don't yell. We talk. We talk. Just speak and we would hear you. Speak and your brother will hear you. Okay, of course, I have trained her brother not to respond back by yelling, also. Okay, so we're training her to do that. All right, now we have put, she's over 5 right now, so I have put consequences to that. Okay, we've trained, we've talked, and all that. We're repeating, we're still training, we're still teaching her, right? Now there's a consequence to it. If you want something and you don't ask for that thing, but rather you keep yelling about that thing, yelling, okay, you won't get it. All right, it's as simple as that. So if you want something, you would have to learn to ask for it nicely and calmly. If you yell, you won't get it. So when she wants something, or she wants her brother to do something for her, or she wants him to give her something, and she begins to yell, she just knows automatically she doesn't get it. Okay, until she would have to try again to ask nicely after an hour or two. I would actually remind her, you still want this? Okay, I think you should go and ask your brother for it nicely. And then she would go, she would ask him nicely, and then I give it to her. All right, so basically, you want to train certain habits that you want to see in your children, and you want to be consistent, right? If you put but make sure that you're putting the consequence when the child can understand consequences, right? She's over 5 now, so we had to introduce consequences because she's over 5 now, she's 5 going on 6. So we think this is a good time to make her realize that, okay, you need to make a little more effort in this area. But no, we're not beating her, we're not shouting back, we're not screaming, okay, but rather we have consequences that will make her stop and think of her action. All right, so you want to train habits. Also, you want to train habits. All right, then you want to affirm your children a lot. We can never say too much about affirmation. You want to affirm your children. Okay, your children need to know that you love them, okay, and they mean so much to you. Your children need to know that their efforts are appreciated. So every time they make effort, we want to appreciate the effort and we want to raise the bar. Okay, every time they make an effort, wow, you did that, amazing, it looks great. Imagine that you spend 5 more minutes being on that task. You will see that you might just get something, results that is even more amazing. So what you have done is you have affirmed the child. You have actually praised their efforts, and you have raised the bar. So you want to continuously do this. These are some of the things, some very simple yet important things that you need to do at the point of your child's foundation. Okay, not all that. But what we have most of the time is we take them to school at 2 or 3, and then we're there shouting, trying to force them to write, trying to force them to read, trying to force them to do everything. This is not how you create a solid foundation. You want to create a solid foundation by ensuring that you have stimulated the child adequately. When you stimulate the child adequately, you will find out that the moment the child goes to school, when the child goes to school, The experiences that the child will meet in school will be experiences that the child has had before. They are not going to be new to your child. Okay, so when you walk and when you go on walks, right, and then you see the trees and you're like, oh, beautiful trees. Can we count how many trees are here? One, two, three, four, five. By the time your child goes to kindergarten and the child hears one, I mean, counting trees, you know, all the picture reading and picture counting that you have in school, you know, pictorial addition. By the time the child sees that, it is not strange. It isn't new. The child has had some sort of an experience in this area, right? By the time the child begins to learn about part of a tree, the roots, the stem, and all that, it isn't new. Your child has had an experience because you had a stimulating environment at home. By the time the child goes to school and the child is learning the magic language, please, thank you, and all of that, it isn't new to your child. The child has been learning good habits from home. Okay, so that's what we're saying. We stimulate them so much in school, at home, that when they go to school, they are able to build on the knowledge that they have already because you have already created experiences around this area. And this is how lifelong learners are actually built. This is how lifelong learning is developed, basically. We start by making the children enjoy learning because they don't see learning as a task, they don't see it as cumbersome, they see it as something that is fun. And so they tend to, I mean, they become people who are in love with learning. Okay, great. That's what I'm talking about. So the next thing you want to do is you want to create independence, right? You want to create independence. What we do, right? What we do most of the times is because we have house helps and we have nannies, we have all these people, okay, the support staff in our home who do a lot of the things. We have people who clean, we have people who drive, we have people who do all of these things. We end up sabotaging our children. We don't allow them early, right? We don't allow them gain independence early. We don't start them with small tasks early. So with the kids, I start from the very beginning, from the very as soon as the child is ready for an activity, I start. So I feed the children when they're young, and then they get to the point and I begin to hold their hands, okay? While we're eating and we're laughing and all of that, okay, mommy is gonna give you the train is traveling with a spoon of cereal, right? The plane is traveling with a spoon of cereal and it's going, and then put it in your mouth, right? Then I give the child a spoon and I say, your turn. And you find that they will try to take the spoon and they will go, and then, of course, the food will pour out and all that. So, what do? I have given the child the chance to try. So, the next time I will hold the hand and we will go through the train journey together. And then we get to the mouth and the food goes in there. As we keep doing that, it's playful. We're playing. You will find out that every time the child sits on the high chair to eat, the child will try to do the train movement until one day he would actually achieve it. Now, we don't, the catch here is in the achievement. Okay, the catch is in the achievement because that is how confidence is built. Now, you will hear people who will argue with you and they will tell you, these things, it doesn't matter when you start, the child will know it one day. We hear arguments like that. But this is what we miss. We miss the journey, right? We miss the process and we miss the fact that confidence is built in that process. So for a child who is able to get that, I mean, achieve that milestone, because he is given the opportunity to try, right? For a child who achieves that milestone because he's given the opportunity to try early, and he achieves that milestone early, the child begins to gain confidence that early. So let's say my child achieves being able to scoop and put his food in his mouth, say at 8 months, right? And then there is this other child that is fed from 8 months till he's 4. So what you have done to my child, right, or to child A, let's just call them child A and child B. What you have done to child A is you have enabled child A. Now child A can feed himself, and child A has gotten confidence in that ability. So for the rest of, from what did I say, 8 months, from 8 months up to 4 years, the child is actually honing that ability, right? The child is confident in that ability. So the child has gotten a confidence boost that the one that you're feeding, child B that is being fed, doesn't gain confidence in that area. So by the time he gains confidence at 4, do you think their level of confidence will be at the same point? No, the level of confidence will not be at the same point. Now I am holistic in my training, right? In my training in nurturing, I am very holistic. So I do not look at feeding as just feeding. I actually understand that it will all come together to play out in what that child is going to become at 5 and at 10. So the ability to feed himself on his own, the ability to do things for himself, will actually show up. It will show up in the life of that child, in the ability that the child, in the confidence that the child exudes when the child is 5. It will show up when the child is 10. It will show up when the child is 20. It will show up in the adults that the child is. This is how confidence is built. That's how you see one child and you find out that the child exudes so much confidence. You are wondering, where did this come from? It is a combination of it's combination of confidence that has been built in different abilities. So when the child finds out, I can feed myself. I can wear my socks on my own. I can actually take off my shirt on my own. I can actually take my plate to the kitchen. I can attempt washing my plate on my own. All of this is deposits, different deposits of confidence in different areas. It comes together to actually produce a confident human being. And this is the difference between one child being confident and one child being timid, one child with a high self-esteem and one with a low self-esteem. This is how it's built. It all comes together. It begins from the foundation. So when you teach your child to be independent, okay, when you teach your child to be independent from a very tender age, now, how do you know that your child is ready? That's why I said, allow them try. If you don't allow them try, you will not know that they are ready. So be close enough. That's it. You cannot be far. This is what we're talking about. You can leave it to the house helps. You can leave it to people who care for them. Even if you're not around all the time, for the time that you're around, you want to make time, okay? You want to make time, right, to however small it is, you want to make time to actually do these bonding activities together so that you have an idea what's happening in the life of your child. So you do this and you let the child try. So the rule is, for everything, like for every stage in your child's life, for everything that they need, for all of their needs at every stage in their life, the rule is, let them try first. It is when they try first that you know that they are not ready. Then be there to assist them. But for every time before you help a child, okay, let them try first. All right, great. So that's it. And it's the same thing. You take it, we take it, not just in the feeding and taking their plates to the kitchen, attempting to wash their plates even when they are 2.5 and 3, okay, attempting to wash their plates. They will make a mess, but it's okay. We are attempting, right? We're attempting. That's what's important, all right? From that, you want to push it into their schoolwork, okay? For those of them who go to school early, for those who go to school at 3 and 4, all right? For the ones that you're home working with, okay? From time to time, you want to leave them with the activities. That's why I say it's important that we start stimulating them, right? In the Montessori approach, the child is allowed to do on his own, okay? You provide the resources, you create the opportunity for the child to do hands-on activities. You allow the child make mistakes. You allow the child self-correct. While you're doing that, the child is building, okay, confidence in his or her ability. Right? So as the child is doing that, the child gains confidence, and when the child gets it, the child wants to do more. Right? The child wants to do more. So even in their school work, for those of them who go to school, in their school work, you want to do the same thing. All right, you want to do the same thing. So the child comes back from school, he has an activity from school. Okay, you hang in there. Oh, okay, this is the work from school. You look at it together, you talk about it together. Okay, then you step away. You teach, allow the child begin to gain confidence in their ability to do their work on their own. What happens in many cases is you are there forcing the child to do the work, beating the child, getting angry, getting frustrated, and you think that child will learn, or you think that child will enjoy learning. No, the child will not enjoy learning. We tend to, okay, because we don't evaluate, and we don't take stock. We tend to think that the fact that our children can do something at the time means that they know it. They don't know it a lot of the times. We tend to think that because we can force our children to do things and they write exams. We will come to that exam matter. They go and they write exams and they come top in their class. We think that they love learn. We think that our children are excelling. No, it will always bust back in our face. If it doesn't in year six, it would in SS3. If it doesn't in SS3, it would when they become adults. Because what you have done is you have put so much pressure. You have put pressure, 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 pressure. So at the end, the child is not doing any of these things because the child loves them. Okay, the child is not doing it out of love. The child is doing it because the child is compelled to do it. Okay, and it's not lasting. It's not lasting. That's the truth. They don't end up loving this thing. They don't end up loving the learning or whatever it is that you're forcing them to do. All that force. That's the truth about it. Okay, so when they're young, you want to, with their schoolwork, they come in and they're tired and they're not ready. Hey, honey, can you do that now? And the child is like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to, and all of that. Then you give them options. It's okay. You want to rest, and mommy, you want to eat right now, whatever it is. Of course they would have eaten before you make them start doing your homework or whatever, right? Now you want to take a break now and play for 30 minutes, and then you take the clock and you show the child. You see this? When the clock moves, when the hand is at 6, when the long hand is at 6 and the short hand is at 6, it means it's 6 o'clock. At that point, you would have to come back and do your homework. Do you agree? Chances are the child will say, okay. Give them options. Let them work when they are ready to work. That's what I do with my kids. I don't force my kids to do their work. I don't force my kids to do their work at a particular time. I give them options. For the older one, I give him options and I give him consequences. It's simple. You have your work to do. Okay, the rule is get the work done before you play. That's the rule. You get the work done before you play. And then he goes, Mommy, I'm tired. You're tired? Okay, that's okay. You can actually rest. What time do you want to get back to your work? And then he goes, can I get back to work at 5:30? Of course. Of course you can get back to work at 5:30. But if I have to remind you at 5:30, then you don't get to play outdoor today. Or you don't get to, something that they love to do. You just take it away. If I have to remind you, that's where you help the child be responsible. And this is it. I do not force my children to do their schoolwork when they are not ready, because I want them to enjoy learning. I don't want them to see learning as a task. I don't want them to see learning as trouble. Okay, I want them to enjoy learning, basically. All right, great. So that's it for independence, right? Right. Now, what another thing that we do is, so yes, the child is in kindergarten and child has a lesson teacher. Lesson teacher will come every time to work with the child. The days that the teacher is not there, the child will leave the work, right? The child will leave the work for lesson teacher. So it's a lesson teacher. They go to school. They're in school with teachers from morning till 3 o'clock or two o'clock or whatever. They come back. They come back and they eat food. And they are with lesson teacher from 4 o'clock, right? Or from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock. In some cases till 7 o'clock and all of that. What you're doing, you're not allowing your child gain stamina. So what the child has is assisted learning. He's assisted in his learning every time. In school, he has his teacher assisting him. At home, he has a lesson teacher assisting. On Monday is one teacher. Tuesday is another teacher. Wednesday is another. The child is not gaining stamina. So yes, while your child will do well when the lesson teacher is around, just take lesson teacher away for a bit. You will find that the child's performance is down on the floor. It's down again. Why? Because the child is fully dependent on the assistance of an adult. The child is fully dependent on an adult's assistance. So what you do is, I don't know. I mean, this one is personal. My children have never, I mean, they never had lesson teachers. They never had lesson teachers. We did our stuff together. I mean, I helped and I allowed them to build stamina on their own. I gave them independence. I mean, I taught them to work independently, okay, and all of that, right? So it was only my son got his first lesson teacher in year 5, and that was a French teacher. When I realized that he just, I mean, he just wouldn't pull his weight around French, and I couldn't help him, right? I didn't know much of French to help him. So I got someone to come once in a week to go through French with him, okay, so that we see if it's because he wasn't understanding in school and all of that. Do you understand? So we do that, right? We do that. Then at some point I realized, okay, his math, right? Because math is at some point I realized, okay, with math, he was beginning to drag his feet. So I got someone to just work with him just so that he can understand certain concepts if he had problems with them. Basically, just come in once in a week and then go. And then the child can go on. So whatever trouble the child has, the child can communicate with you, and then they can brainstorm together, understand concepts, and then after that, the child is working on his own. So basically, before 10, no lesson teacher. Not because I have any problem with lesson teachers, okay, but because I understand that children need to get stamina. If they have gotten all that tutoring and all of that in school, okay, their teachers were there in school doing all of that, then when the child comes home, that is the time where the child tries to well, that's a point where the child should try to consolidate all that he has been taught so that we know if learning actually happened. Now, at the point where he does that, he can now for the things that he doesn't realize, he doesn't understand, okay, he can now say to mom, to say to any of us, to me or to daddy, okay, I don't understand this. And we can actually come in and try to see, okay, and fill in the gap. Okay, this is probably what you're not doing well or you're doing well and all of that. And then I make him go back to his teacher. So the next day he goes back to his teacher and then tells his teacher what it is that he is having challenges with. And this is it. So the teacher is able to pull him through and then he comes in and then practices. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, if you're that parent that is not available to look, and that's the reason why the teacher is there, that's fine. Let the teacher help and put them through, and then step back and allow your child gain stamina. But that's not what we do. We want the teachers to teach them all the time. In fact, some of us will even breathe down the throat of the teacher like you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. No, our children are supposed to gain stamina. Okay, all right. Now the other one is create learning at home together and make it fun. Create learning and make it fun. All right. Okay, we need to rush, right, and finish. All right. So now what I do is I create a lot of learning with the children at home. Some people will say, "Oh, it's because you're a teacher." This had nothing to do with whether it actually has nothing to do with whether I am a teacher or not. Okay, I've not even been in the classroom for some years right now. Okay, I've not been in the classroom for some years, and before then, right, I actually started working with my child even before I stepped into a classroom. I've been there and done that. I did other things before I went into the classroom. That's the truth. Okay, so what did I do? What did I do? At the beginning, what I did is when I realized my son was having problems. I mean, he has never had problems talking, expressing himself, and all of that. But somehow I realized he told me he was shy. He actually told me himself that he was shy and he didn't like standing in front of people. Okay, so for me, two things. I needed him because I needed him to get over that. I mean, it's a world where we'll have to interact with people. It's a world, and because I knew that he wasn't a shy person by nature, right? I just knew it was fear. So we had to help him. Okay, we had to help him get over that fear. That was one. The other one was because I knew that learning has not happened until learning is internalized. And I knew this even before I became a teacher. Because a lot of times what we have is children cram, cram, cram. It's a lot of rote learning. It's a lot of rote learning. They cram and all of that. And they do this. And when you ask your child, what did you learn in school today? The child is not able to give you anything concrete to say, this is what I learned in school today. No, that's wrong. If a child has learned, then the child should be able to tell you what he's learned. If learning has happened, then you should be able to talk about that learning. So I start very early, right from when they start going to school. Say you are in school and you can talk, then you can tell me what it is that you have learned in school. So it begins right from the car. We get in and we have those conversations. How was school today? So what happened in the playground? It's every bit. As in, it's every bit of school. What happened when you got in this morning? What happened in the playground? So I know everything that happens in your school. I actually know everything that happens in school. Okay, but because they know that we will have these conversations, I think it keeps them alert and it helps them, it makes them, gather their stories to tell. So they're excited to actually tell the stories when they get into the car. What am I doing? I'm teaching them to retell. I'm teaching them to take note of their experiences. I'm teaching them, right? I'm teaching them to document, right? I'm teaching them to document what it is that happens. So they are not just moving around and not aware of their environment or aware of their, I mean, they are passing through their life without even being aware of their lives. All right. So we get home and while we're talking, or what we're doing, when we're folding clothes, what we do is I have them tell me about what they have learned for the day. So, what happened in science today? Okay, let's talk about it. I'm going to do a video. So, I take my phone and then I do a video. Children like being behind the camera, isn't it? Children like being videoed. All right. So, they are there and they are glad to tell me what happened in school because all they're thinking about is more of the video than it is about telling. So it's more of the video. So I'm there making the video and all of that. And that's it. The child is retelling. The child is telling. And then I know if learning has happened. And if I find gaps in their learning, I'm able to fill in the gaps. Do you understand? I'm able to fill in the gaps. Okay. And now that is another important thing. The fact that you need to realize that you are your child's curriculum. You cannot be a parent who doesn't know. You cannot be a parent who does not know, who doesn't know. And this doesn't necessarily have to be just about schoolwork. What are your children doing in year one and in year two? What you're doing at that level is really very basic. So it is important that you learn what it is that they're doing. It is important that your knowledge is on point, right? So you cannot be a parent and you are not reading. You cannot be a parent and you are not aware of the things around. You cannot be a parent and you don't have any knowledge. You will try. Right? You will try as much as possible. I mean, I'm talking to the parents who is here listening to me because most of the parents who are here listening to me are parents who can at least have the knowledge that it takes, right? To make sure that your child's foundation is right. And I am big. It is the foundation. It is the foundation. If we get this thing right from when the children are 0 to 5. So what kind of knowledge or what kind of learning is your child having from 0 to 5 that you think that you cannot step in and fill in for them? All right. If they're doing something in school that you don't know, when they go back to school, look for a way to read about that thing so that you can fill in. Our problem or mistake is we keep thinking that it is the school that needs to educate our children alone. People say 50-50. I say 70-30. 70 from home, 30 from school. I don't know about you. At some point, I up it every time. I get to the point and I say to myself, there are some classes where my kids are, or there are certain teachers in their life at the time, and I just say to myself, at this point, okay, I need to fill in 80%. When I notice that, okay, the content is not robust enough, but good enough with my children, their school, it's always been good, good, good. Okay, but basically, there's a point you will get and you find out, okay, the content of what you're getting in school is not robust enough. Then you step in and you make it 80-20. At some point, oh, maybe it needs to be 50-50 because, okay, from school, it's on point, 50-50. But basically, you can't stand in one point and keep believing and thinking it is the responsibility of the school alone to do all that it takes for your children to excel. You lie. Okay, you lie to yourself, parents, if you think that is it. So you make it fun. So I do the videos, and then they actually tell me about all that they've learned in a fun way, thinking of it as just videos. It's fun. So the kids and I create a lot of models too. When they're doing stuff in school, in science, in language arts, we create the character in their stories. We create the character in their story. We do a lot of role play. We take roles, okay, of the characters. We take roles of the characters, and each of us acts the role. Right? We act the role. We create science models at home. Okay, they are learning about the water cycle. We try to create our own water cycle. What am I doing? I am bonding with the children. We are creating things together. I am allowing them decide what should go where. We are stimulating. We are making, we're ensuring that learning is enjoyed. That is where children excel from. It is not in how many lesson teachers, listen to me, parents, please. It is not in how many lesson teachers you bring to your house. That is not it. It is not in how many lesson teachers. It is in how your children perceive learning. Do they enjoy learning? A child who doesn't enjoy learning will not excel in learning. Even if the child passes well and goes to all the big schools that you think that when they go to, it means that they have arrived, they will crash. That's the truth. They will crash, or they will not reach their full potential. They will not be that, they won't reach their full potential. Okay, we need to reach the point where we begin to look at excelling beyond the A's and the B's. A child is supposed to be wholesome. A child is not supposed to be just that person who does well academically. Academics is just a pinch in the ocean of who your child is supposed to be. Okay? All right, let's quickly run. All right, now the next one you want to do, I'll have to do this really very fast. The next one you want to do is create structures. Now, in creating learning together and making learning fun. Okay, we do videos, yes, and then we do researches. We do researches where we do presentations every Saturday, so we can give the children a topic, okay, in history, geography, science, anything, okay, science, music, any area at all in life where they go and research and they do a presentation. They put up a presentation at home. Okay, we make it fun. We create meals. We create snacks and all of that, and we make it fun. They dress up like it's a real thing. Okay, we do all of that just to make learning fun and enjoyable. Okay, the next one you want to do is create structures. You want to create structures in your home. Structures. What are your traditions? What are your routines? Create what do you call it? Routines. Create schedule. You need a schedule in your home. What are your family values? You need to put all that together. What is your parenting plan? Okay, what are your parenting plans? You need to put that together with your husband, with your spouse, right? You need to do all of that. Talking about that, I have a session this Saturday. I have a session this Saturday at 7 p.m. where I will be sitting with parents who just took my course, who just finished taking my course. Will be sitting to do all this together. It was part of the course, and some people need hand holding, a hand holding session where we can sit together and create all this together. All right, you can actually jump in and join us in that session. You can join us for that session. You would have to pay 1,000 naira to join in that session. It's going to be a hands-on session. We are going to put together the structures that you need. See, after all these things that we're talking about, after all these talk about what you can do, what you can read, the knowledge you have, all the webinars you go for. After everything, if you don't put the right structures in your home to step down these things, nothing will happen. That's the truth. Nothing will happen. And I've come to realize that putting down the structure is actually the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge that parents have. How to put down that structure, how to go about it, how to create a plan, how to create routines, how to do all of this is usually the problem. And that's what that session is going to be. We're going to be talking about how you can create routines. We'll have samples, okay? How you can create a value system, all of that. That's what we'll be doing in that session. So if you want to be a part of that session, even though you did not participate in that course, if you want to be a part of that session, you can join us. You will just pay 1,000 naira. I'll put the account number here after the session. You pay 1,000 naira and join us in that session. Okay, it's going to be an amazing one. And then after that, you would have the replay, right? You will have the replay, you will have the recording, sorry. You have the recording of that session. So let's say you are not able to see through it to the end, or let's say for some reason you had network issue, whatever. But we would be able to put down, we'll be able to record it and then share that recording with you so you can have everything in there. All right. So yep, so you put in all those structures. It's the structures that would make it all come together. All right. Then lastly, you want to have a goal for every academic session. You should create a goal. Create a goal for each of your children for each academic session. So it's not a case of you're just there, you go to school, it's math, it's English. No, it goes beyond math and English. It goes beyond math, English, geography, and physics, and all of that. It goes beyond that. Create a real plan. I am calling it an academic plan because I know that's what we like to hear, right? Academic plan. But it goes beyond an academic plan. Create a goal, right, that actually covers skills. So, what are the skills that you're going to be teaching that at the end of this session from September till June next year, you will know that your child is grounded in this. So, create them 1, 2, 3. Please don't make them more than 3 or 5. In fact, don't make them more than 5. I would even recommend 3. So if you want to do it, make it a termly thing, that's fine. You want to make it a termly thing. So for first term, right, we are going to work on the child being responsible. So you will create a plan to teach, a plan that you will use, what you're going to be doing with the child to make the child responsible, what you're going to do, you will create a plan for a whole 12 weeks plan for that term, for what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be teaching this skill once in a week? What materials are you going to use? What strategies are you going to use? You are supposed to create that. Then the academic plans, where do you want them to be at the end of the session? Let them know. Create it together. Let them make up their mind where they want to be at the end of the session. Let it not be a competition. So let me not hear things like, I want to be first in my class. We put these things in the heads of our children so much that their whole life is a competition. No. Where do you want to be? Your grades. I have never done position with my children before. I have never said to any of my kids, you need to beat this person or you need to beat that person. What anyone is doing or where any of their friends or their classmates were is not our problem. We just have our grades, okay? We have our target for the school year. There are times that my kid will actually set a target to get 85 in a subject. When he sets it, I don't do nothing. That's it. For French, he will actually set 85. Why are you not setting 100? It's like, mommy, let's go 85. Doesn't mean that he cannot exceed it. Okay, the other day I shared the post about how my son was elected as the head boy of his school, right? And I actually said in that post that we had a chance to go to our parenting plan and seek that spot. leadership because it is a plan. We had this plan in place like long before now. Now, by the time he's in year six, he should be able to get a leadership role. So when he actually created his vision board for this year, he actually stated there that at the end in year six, he is going to be a social prefect. That was his target, to be the social prefect. But alas, hey, do you understand? So nothing should come to you, nothing should be wished, nothing should come to you as a surprise. You should have plans. Right? You should have plans so that when you win, you know you're winning. When you fall short of it, you know you need to do more, and let the children know too. Let them know that their expectations, their plans, their goals that they set for themselves. So set those goals in every area. Set the goals even in the area of their interests. Okay, find out what their interest is, set goals in the area of their interest. They want to swim or they love to swim. At the end of 3 months, at the end of here, this is what you should be doing. Let them have goals in all of these areas. Set these goals at the beginning of the school year so that it becomes a guide. This is how children excel. It is not by the number of lesson teacher. It is not by the number, or it is not how you jump around the city up and down. It's not that. It's more than that. It is structures. I mean, thank you. God bless parents who are doing so much for their children. But hey, you will find out that if you put structures in place, the stress on you will be less. The pressure on the children will be less. Children are stressed. Our children are stressed. We take these children, we jump from one place to the other with them. We put them through long sessions. At the end of the day, we are satisfied that we're doing so much, but the resultant effect is bad. The outcomes are low, but because we don't evaluate, because we don't come back and check, work against results. Is it worth it? We don't do that. So at every point, we keep telling ourselves it's okay. It is not okay. Children do not have to stress to succeed. They don't have to stress so hard. No, they don't have to. If the foundation is right, if the planning is right, if the structure is in place, you will find out that your child will excel without breaking a sweat. And that is the truth about it. It brings me to exams. You need to get your child to the point. You need to demystify this whole idea of exams and tests. In my home, exam period, test period means nothing to us. Okay, they mean nothing to us because, hey, for us, every day is a test, every day is an exam day. So, what I do with the children, I make sure that we are constantly learning. I make sure that we're constantly learning. We're constantly talking about what they are learning. They are constantly having small bites of what it is that they are doing. Learning is ongoing, it is not a fixed thing. It is not about take your book, sit. It's not that. It's ongoing. We are constantly having conversations around what they are learning. We're using everything around us to reinforce this learning. We are creating things to reinforce the learning. We're having conversations around this learning. So when it is exam period, we don't do all that. Oh yeah, come and sit down. You will read till 11 o'clock. We don't do it. There is no need for it. There is no need for it because learning is a lifestyle for us. Learning is not about kill yourself. Okay, don't do that to your children. Apart from that, the mindset that you are creating, like they have to be prepared. Okay, they have to stop and prepare for a particular thing before they can achieve it. No, the truth is in life does not prepare you for nothing. Life throws its I mean, life will throw stuff at you without what do you call it? Without asking you if you're ready. So we have to be ready all the time. So the whole concept of exam is actually a flawed one, if you ask me. The whole concept of exam is a flawed one. But hey, the fact that our system is like this doesn't mean that you must drag that system into your home. Your home is your education system. Your home is your country. Your home is everything. You can do the right thing in your home. That's what I'm trying to say. You can create your own system in your home, and that's the point where your children learn the most. That's the truth. The home is where they learn the most. So you can create a system in your home that works so that they learn from that system. Okay. And please demystify the idea of exams. That's what we do. We demystify the idea of exams. Learning is an ongoing concern in my home. Learning is, I mean, what they learn in school is what we do. We do, I mean, we walk, we talk about what we do in school. I mean, it's ongoing. So no, exam is not the period where we stay and read till 12 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We don't do that. The day before something is needed is not the point where we stay up and we go through. No, we don't do that. Okay. So the moment you have structures at home, the moment you have structures at home, that, and then you have routines and you're consistent, the moment you have these things, you will find out that you take off the stress, you take the stress off yourself, you take the stress off your children, you make your children become lifelong learners. Okay. And then you make them enjoy what it is that they are doing, and when they enjoy what they are doing, you will find that they excel in it and they want to do more, basically. All right, great. Now, so that's it for today. Okay, that's it for today. And all of these things that I'm talking about, we can actually learn them, and we can actually hold your hands through this whole, I mean, all we've said in this session. We can hold your hands and show you how you can do this and how you can internalize this. We can actually walk this journey with you. Okay, all you need to do is actually register for our pathway to effectively support your child to find purpose course. Enroll for that course. We are starting a new session of that, a new batch. We have a new batch of parents starting that course tomorrow. Tomorrow, yes, we have a new batch of parents starting that course tomorrow. The course is 5,500 naira. If you pay for that course today, you can pay 5,000 naira instead of 5,500. Okay, just because you decided to pay after this session. So you can pay for that course today and join us tomorrow. Then we will talk about these things more, in we talk about this in in a more intense way, and we can hold your hands through it, and we can build all we're talking about together in that course. Okay, if you take that course, you get a back to school pack that is going to be ready in a few days. Okay, you have that and you can keep it. All right. So two things: if you want to join our session where we are creating structures, where we're creating all that we need to put structures in our homes, right? If you're joining that session, it happens on Saturday. You can pay 1,000 naira and join that session, all right? And then you can also be a part of this course. Okay, you can also join and be a part of this course. Okay, the pathway to effectively parent your child to find purpose. All right, then, do we have any question? Any question? Okay, let me see. Someone says, nice one. You see a 3-year-old in Nigeria that has crammed all the 36 states. I'm telling you, on capital, without even knowing what a state means. I think it's too much burden. It's too much burden. It's too much burden. And the funny thing is, when that child finished cramming 36 states and all of that, just go to the middle and say to him, Benue. He doesn't know what to say. Or just give him 2 weeks. What am I saying? Just give him 2 weeks and ask him. He doesn't know what to say. I mean, and then what is the essence of that knowledge? Like, really seriously, what is the essence of that knowledge that the child has to cram like that? Yes, yes, yes. How about you get a globe in the house? How about you get a map of Nigeria in the house? How about you put that somewhere where the children can visualize, where they can see it? How about you make the children listen to the news with you like once in a week? And when in that news you hear something like, oh, something happened in Benue State, you can now say, oh, let's go check in the map where Benue State is. And the child runs and then he goes there and he can see the Benue State is in the middle belt area of the. How about that? Yeah, that's Benue State. He finds it. What part? Is in the north, south, east, or west? And then the child is able to trace and he says, oh, it's somewhere up here. Is that north, south, east, or west? I'm not sure. And then you're like, oh, there's a region that's called the Middle Belt region. And then you get a chance to I mean, you get a chance to stretch that learning a little by saying to the child, "Oh, did you know in Benue, the people there, farmers, and they farm yams and all of that." That is real learning. That is information. It's not Benue said, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not that. What really? I mean, what learning has happened there? But just see this simple, I mean, having this map, I mean, doing this with the child, listening and coming. Imagine how that will stick. That will stick. And for any reason, if the child hears anything about Benue State, he would remember, oh, Benue, it's in the middle belt. That's where River Benue is. Oh, the people actually farm a lot of yam, and that is it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we worry these children too much. We stress them too much and we stress ourselves too much a lot of the times. All right, guys, I think we've stayed here for far too long. So thank you for all those who thank you for all those who participated in the live session. Thank you so much. All right. For those who will catch the replay, okay, you can put your questions, your contribution, you can put it right there. All right. And yes, the video will go down in a few hours, but you can actually catch the replay on our YouTube channel. So thank you for making time to be a part of this. You can drop your questions and I will make time to answer them. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon and happy Independence Day again. I mean, happy Independence Day to every Nigerian there. Let's tell the children good things about the nation. I mean, let's tell them how beautiful, okay, we are as a people. Let's tell them, I mean, how it depends, it's all in our hands that we can make this country great again and that there is nowhere like home. Right? After everything, it doesn't matter how comfortable you get anywhere, your heritage is very important. All right. So let's give them a reason to be proud of where they are from. All right. By doing our part in making this nation great again. All right, so thank you very much and have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Bye.